What strange assets are valued in marital property division? Imagine discovering that your marital estate includes things you never thought of as assets. Some assets are obvious, like houses or bank accounts, but others are quite unusual. These strange assets can have a big impact on how property is divided during a divorce. Let's explore some of the most surprising assets that courts may need to value and divide. One of the most unexpected assets is frozen embryos. These are created through in vitro fertilization and stored for future use. They are not traditional property, but they hold emotional and financial value. Deciding what happens to them can be complex, especially if spouses disagree. Courts often look at agreements made before the embryos were created or decide based on the best interests of potential future children. Pets are another asset that can cause surprises. Although legally considered personal property, pets often have deep emotional ties. Some courts now allow for pet custody arrangements, similar to child custody. This means a pet might be awarded to one spouse or shared, depending on the situation. Digital assets are becoming more common and include cryptocurrencies, online business accounts, and social media profiles. Valuing these can be tricky because they are intangible and may require specialized appraisals. For example, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin can fluctuate wildly in value, making their worth hard to pin down. Collectibles and luxury items also fall into this category. Think of rare coins, art collections, or designer jewelry. These items might seem minor but can be worth thousands of dollars. Proper appraisals are necessary to determine their true value. Stock options and restricted investments are assets that can be overlooked. Stock options granted during the marriage may be worth a lot, but their value depends on vesting schedules and transfer rules. Valuing them requires understanding these restrictions. Business interests are often complex assets. If one spouse owns a small business or partnership, courts need to determine its worth. This involves looking at income, assets, and future earning potential, which can be a detailed process. Intellectual property rights like patents, copyrights, or trademarks are also considered marital assets. If creative works or inventions generate ongoing income, courts will include these in property division. Finally, some debts are unusual assets in disguise. Loans taken out for personal projects or business ventures can become part of the property division process. They may reduce the overall value of the estate or be divided separately. In family law, identifying and valuing these unconventional assets is essential. It often involves expert appraisals, financial investigations, and legal interpretation. Disclosing all assets, even those that seem intangible or odd, helps ensure a fair division. Depending on the jurisdiction, different rules like equitable distribution or community property laws will influence how these assets are divided. Knowing about these strange assets can help you better understand what might be at stake during property division and how courts handle these unique situations.